This is an almighty safe team to use in Open Great League, and today trainers we're gonna check it out. So Vigoroth up in front, Dragonair at the back with Gligar. These three are gonna perform pretty well together as they are all safe picks to use in Open Great League. So over here now with Mountain on the switch, we're just gonna take the moves, but I guess that all we need to do is to flip around that switch in matchup, because in doing so we might actually survive against an Annihilate lead. So this is the trick. You need to rely a lot on Dragonair when you're having a nightmare lead like this Annihilate, and now they return into the battle. Hopefully though, Gligar now can re-emerge as a perfect closer once again today's content, and I guess that we can survive even an Ice Punch here, so I'm just gonna take the move and it ends up being just a Shadow Ball. Galarian Starfish emerges out of nowhere. What is this? Season 1? Get out of here. We're just gonna keep going at it with our counters. And I know, Season 1 was no Galarian Starfish friendly at all, because that Pokemon was not in the meta, but yeah, you get the memo. Anyways, now with the Body Slam we can drop them very low. They stopped hitting, and that was for a reason. They want to farm some extra on their Annihilate. However, I still have a lot of energy to spare with my Gligar, and the question remains, what will happen here? Can they outspeed to a double charge attack, or can we do it first? So they fire off the first, we do it as well, and now on the second we manage to outspeed to get a huge victory for our team. So that is gonna be all for the first battle, and now let's keep going with the Shadow Victreebel team. And as you're seeing this weird exchange of fast attacks between these two Pokemon, I would like to ask you something. Which one do you think is the safest Pokemon to run in Open Great League? Obviously here I have 3 safe picks overall, but in my opinion Shadow Drapion still remains one of the safest, if not the safest, to use in Open Great League. It has coverage, it has the perfect typing, so I guess that yeah, you can use it effectively and still win against most threats in Great League without sweating at all, especially on the Switch. So write me down in the comment section what do you think, because besides Shadow Drapion, what do you think can be another pretty good one? Anyways, now back to the commentary as we survive the power punch and of course finish them off. Now with seeing both Shadow Victreebel and Medicham, I can only imagine that their final Pokemon can be something like a Bastiodon. My opponent here throws the Leaf Blade, so I'm not sure why I switched in there with my Gligar, but it is what it is. Anyways, now with the Dig we can do so much damage on that Pokemon, and as long as we can survive the next charge attack by blocking, we can be on a very good spot with our Gligar by completely farming down that Shadow Victreebel in the end game. But first we need to land the Dig on that poor Bastiodon. Down they go, and Victreebel will pretty much follow the same fate. Into the next game now with a Salazzle up in front. All we need to do here is to go for a simple Body Slam, but to be honest I mess up big time. On the CMP I go for the Body Slam, even though I knew from the beginning that I had to go for that extra counter. I missed the counter, and that might not seem enough, but still it is, because on the second attempt I could easily outspeed with the charge attack and push for the second shield before they do the same thing on our side. Anyways, it is what it is, and now we're just gonna go for the Dig with our Gligar. So Gligar here is gonna take so much damage after the debuff and from those water guns being super effective, but hopefully they throw here the Surf. I'm not sure if we could reach to a Dig before we faint down, but it is what it is, and my opponent will keep going at it with their Lantern. Of course our Dragon typing will be able to completely wall down that Lantern, and now with their Vigoroth coming back to the game, I guess that my own Vigoroth is prepared to throw its Body Slams. One from that Vigoroth, but also we did one more before with our Dragonair. My opponent makes a controversial switch out on Salazzle. I don't know what they were thinking, and now we can still outspeed to the charge attack since we still have 1 shield while they have 0, and our Dragonair will emerge like a perfect closer on this one. Into the next game now with Vigoroth up in front facing Swampy. So Swampy here is gonna be kind of a deal breaker for my Gligar, but if we can somehow face it with our Dragon type, we might be on a very good spot. So Annihilate comes into the game, and that makes me think that perhaps they have a double fighting backline, so hopefully we need to respect the alignment because Vigoroth needs to stay over that Swampy no matter what. So here comes now the farm down with our fast attacks, and of course right after they respond with the Skarmory. So no double fighting, so yeah, it is what it is. My opponent will just play like this, and I'm just gonna go for the RLAs before we go down to those Steel Wings. This is gonna do some cheap damage and drop them at around 50%. I guess that I need to use my shields wisely here and protect my Vigoroth completely. So I'm just gonna go double shielding here on my Vigo, as it seems they have so much energy to spare, and I guess that right after this they might be energy dry, so we can always outspeed on the next charge attack, and my opponent switches out on Swampert. Swampert didn't farm any energy at all before, and I will try to catch the move here on the 5th mud shot on my Dragonair. This is absolutely huge because now they need to charge up to the Earthquake level, and we can easily outspeed to a charge attack before they get there. Down goes their final shield. That was big brain play. Down goes now my Dragonair, but it doesn't matter at all. All we need to do here is to reach to the Rock Slide. Skarmory was almost energy dry, so here comes now the move to finish them down. That was a crazy battle. Into the next one now with a Skeledirge up in front. This Pokemon is always bad news for any fighter, but I guess that for Vigoroth, which is a pseudo fighter, it is still kinda playable as long as we have access to Rock Slide. So with Feraligatr coming into the game, I'm trying to survive here the moves, and I was pretty sure this was not an Ice Beam because it was on the 6th Shadow Claw, and for Ice Beam they always need 7. Anyways, down we go to those Shadow Claws, but they still have spent both of them shields on Feraligatr. I know it kinda makes sense since Feraligatr can hit like a truck, but over here we can survive the moves, and I guess by sacrificing only one shield we might have the upper hand. However, I realize at this point that not only we can survive the move, but also we can keep those two shields for the very end game, and since now Gligar emerges, they have a Whiskas at the back. So with Skeledirge now into the game, I want to go for that dig, but for some reason I didn't on time, and now I'm gonna press it for the knockout over Skeledirge. Not sure if I lagged there, I'm not gonna swear on anything, but it seemed kinda suspicious. Anyways, now with the RLAs, I will try to do some cheap damage over Whiskas as I'm trying to switch out on Vigoroth, but I also see that we also can drop them very low at the point that one Body Slam from our Vigoroth might actually do the trick, even though we have only 1 HP remaining. So here comes now the move. Let's get it now, trainers. Again, Shadow Whiskas. Of course it's gonna knock out, and that is gonna be an awesome victory. Into the next game with a charge up back up in front. Hopefully our whole team can react against that Pokemon, but not at its best with Vigoroth, and as long as they switch out, this is gonna be still kinda playable for our backline. Now with Skarmory coming into the game, we're just gonna stay in because our backline is definitely afraid of that Pokemon. So we have seen a little bit of Skarmory action, and you can already see that this team can somehow manage this threat, even though it looks like a core breaker on paper. So with the Body Slam here, we can pressure their final shield, and I guess that by not blocking at all, we can easily take advantage of Gligar's resisting moves just to farm up some extra over Skarmory's steel typing. So now with the dig, we can do some extra damage over Quagsire, and by switching out here on Dragonair, we are trying to catch the move. However, this is no catch at all. They saw the switch, and Stone Edge is the move that they're gonna fire off. I'm not gonna go for any shield here, gonna take all of those Aqua Tails on my Dragonair and still get on Body Slam for that final attempt before we go down. hopefully they switch out on charge attack, which means that we can still prevail victorious as long as they do not have something weird like a crunch. So here with the dig we can easily finish them off, and of course our shield is in the game, so they have nothing to throw here, and Quagsire realizes that and backs out from this battle. Into the next game with another bad lead, this time against Gligar. Hopefully this is a Shadow Gligar, so a double bot slam in combination with my counters might actually do the trick. Let's see how this is gonna go, because I'm not blocking anything, gonna let all of those digs come on my way, and right after we got the bot slam to finish off that Gligar. They end up catching on charge attack, which is kind of a big bummer to be fair, but still we have done our job with Vigoroth. Now we can follow with our own Gligar, and as soon as they get to those weird moves we can still have the upper hand with our typing. Just gonna get on the RLAs here, gonna go for the grade to farm up some extra, and by doing this we can get out of here with a ton of energy. Their Gligar emerges now into the game, I have access to the RLAs, winning the CMP, and down goes a shield. That was crucial information, because their final Pokemon might actually be weak on my Gligar, and it ends up being something like a Lantern, so we can also wall it down with our Dragonair. I'm telling you, this team is super safe, and you will find yourself pretty weak against Skarmory, but once again here it is up in front, and we will try to overcome this obstacle as much as we can. So by blocking the Brave Bird here we can easily force them to switch out on their safe switch, and that Pokemon is their own Vigoroth. They block my move, which is pretty huge at this point, and now I can easily come into the game with my Gligar. Not only we can survive both of these body slams, but also we can somehow guarantee the knockout with our dig. I'm gonna get on the move right straight ahead almost, and down they go. I guess that at this point they can still reach to one more body slam, so they can survive a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter much. I know also that Skarmory doesn't have a lot of HP remaining, so it all depends on their final Pokemon. As long as it is not another Steel type or something like a Fairy type, we can emerge victorious with our Dragonair by keeping that final shield on our side. So down we go now to the Aqua Tail, it doesn't matter at all, and of course by getting here on the Body Slam we can provoke that final shield. So Quagsire is gonna go for it and then try to snipe us down with a Stone Edge. Of course we're gonna take the move, and of course that was a mistake, but the battle is not over yet. So down goes my final shield on that Sky Attack, but hopefully we can finish them off with that Aqua Tail. Down goes Skarmory, let's see how they want to respond. Quagsire returns and they can outspeed before we farm them down, which is kinda of a heartbreaking moment, but my opponent absolutely took advantage of my mistakes and finished me off. Into the next game, finally catching a very good lead with Empoleon up in front. And how many battles did we already have up to this good lead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 9th battle that we get finally a decent lead for our Vigoroth, and we're just gonna dominate here with this team, because this is a very safe team, and whenever you get a good lead, most probably you are always gonna win this battle. But of course the battle is never settled from the beginning, so you need to try a little bit extra. Now by getting on the Body Slam we get a shield out of play, and at this point we might actually need to block as well. I'm deciding to bank that energy for the very end game, just in case we're gonna need it for that Empoleon, even though it is resisted, but still we got access now on Gligar and its Dig. With Dig in action we can easily finish off with the one of that Empoleon, and as soon as we can outspeed to the charge attack we should be fine. Now Dig will connect on Empoleon, down they go. Wigglytuff here has nothing to offer, and one more charge attack, this time IRL Ace will finish off the job and grab for us a huge victory. Into the next game now, with a Feraligatr up in front, we can resist the Shadow Claws, which means that they always need 2 of those Hydro Cannons to finish us down, and the first one will drop us kinda low, but still not that low. Anyways, we can easily grab a shield with the Bot Slam, while we will try to pressure them as much as possible to the CMP to try and catch on our Dragonair. My opponent though was definitely expecting this, so they did the exact same thing by trying to catch on their Bastiodon. And you know what they say, you see a Bastiodon, you see a Shadow Victreebel, or at least another grass type. Let's see how this is gonna turn out, because we have access to a few of those Aqua Tails, and this is why I enjoy using Dragonair. Even up against those steel types, it always has something to offer to the battle, and of course I guess that only fairy types are gonna be the only thing that you need to worry about, but yeah, it is what it is. Here comes now the Bot Slam on that poor Feraligatr. They will try to block, but once again another Bot Slam is imminent. Down they go. Not only they block, but also they did not spend any energy at all, and by having a Wigglytuff and not a Shadow Victreebel at the back, the outcome will be the same, because we were expecting a toxic Pokemon no matter what for our Gligar to face it in the end game. Into the next game now, trainers, and the final one actually against Pelipper. We managed to get with the nuke over the flyer, and I'm just gonna call it no hurricane, and right after we might actually need to block. However, I'm not blocking, I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, switching now out on Dragonair. That was kind of a horrific play and a scary one, I should have gotten there. Anyways, now with Dragonair seeing another Bastion at the back, we're gonna have a pretty weird battle, because Aqua Tail might deal super effective damage, but on the other side, well, they can resist my Dragon Breaths and also deliver so much damage with a pure Stone Edge. Another Aqua Tail is coming off from my Dragonair. They decide to take it, so both of them shields are into play. We need to rely a lot on Gligar. They end up having something like a fighter, which is a Medicham, and now my Aerial Aces can be put to good use. My opponent here decides to block. This is absolutely fine, because we need those shields out of play if we want to have any chance at all. They throw here the Ice Punch, which is crucial information. We have to block those charge attacks at all costs, and of course we can outspeed to the next charge attack, because they need 6 of those counters to get on the Ice Punch, while we always need only 5 to get our own super effective Aerial Ace. So by coming into the game now with that Bastiodon, we can easily force the CMP and grab the victory with the final dig. So here it is, trainers, finishing off this battle with an amazing nuke. That is gonna be all for today. Thank you for watching till the end, it really means a lot for this channel, trainers, and before you go, leave a huge like, subscribe to my content, and I hope to see you all into the next one.